China's global reach, of course, has been a very important part of the government in China. It continues to grow, this time in Central America, where the nation is establishing diplomatic relations with Honduras, which just broke ties with Taiwan. Now you see how the dots are connected. The decision ending more than 80 years of relations between Honduras and Taipei. China has significantly ramped up its influence in Latin America over the last 25 years, specifically, including increasing investment in energy and infrastructure projects, even surpassing the U.S. as South America's top trade partner. Let's bring in Vincent Chao, adjunct fellow with the Asia Program and China Power Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Vincent, it's so good to see you. I first have to ask this question. For as long as I've been alive, and much earlier, there has been a relationship with China and South American countries, Caribbean nations in the West Indies, Africa. They have always had a footprint internationally. I mean, I think Brazil even had a Chinese president at one time, I want to say. Why is the relation between China and other countries like Honduras so important now? What's different?
Well, I think we should have a high amount of concern at what's happening right now in Central America. And we know that China's engaging in this sort of diplomacy, not exactly for altruistic purposes, but really to gain this political and diplomatic advantage, both against Taiwan, as well as other democracies, including the US. So one thing we've looked very carefully at in terms of past diplomatic switches is the Solomon Islands. This is a small island off Australia that similarly to Honduras had diplomatic relations with us, but had switched a few years ago. And what ended up happening in Solomon was that the PRC ended up immediately with plans to build a naval base, potentially destabilizing both Australian security as well as the region. And so, times have certainly changed. And I think the PRC is not the same sort of country it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. And we do see a much more expansionist tendency by this authoritarian regime over in Beijing.
As China continues to align itself with countries in the Western Hemisphere, what does that mean for relations with the U.S., for our allies? What should we be most concerned about?
So China has pursued influence in the Western Hemisphere pretty aggressively in recent years, and previously, actually, the vast majority of countries, so not a lot of people know this, but the vast majority of countries in Central America had all recognized Taiwan in, prior to 2016, with the notable exception of Costa Rica. And so we gradually saw the diplomatic switches of Panama, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and others in the past few years alone. And so again, I think the real concern is that these diplomatic switches aren't really coming from a place of bringing benefits to the people living there, but it's a form of dollar diplomacy from the PRC, a country that doesn't really abide by this idea of democratic norms, that has really brought unsustainable loans and ultimately money in some cases that has become untraceable and unaccountable. And so I guess the real fear is that this undermining of democracy, both in Central America, but broadly as well around the world.
But I know that you can break this down for us and our viewers here. Did Honduras break from Taiwan to show its allegiance to China? And at what benefit to them?
I mean, so this was recently a big political issue in Taiwan. And I think several documents were declassified and publicized in terms of Honduras really coming to Taiwan with this huge list of things that they wanted funded, including hundreds of $millions in infrastructure projects, billions of dollars in debt relief, and so forth. And it was simply a matter of, I would say, then trying to pick the best bid between Taiwan and China. And again, China has engaged in this pretty aggressively. So they've made commitments that are far above and beyond, I think, what they're doing elsewhere in the world, simply for the reason of bringing Honduras into their orbit. And so, again, like China doesn't have a history of doing these things altruistically. There's a political purpose there. And I think that is what we should especially, both Taiwan and the U.S. be concerned about and watchful for.
It's just fascinating to see how we are so much more connected. And really, the relationships between the Asian nations and the rest of the world are going to certainly pattern what's to come for the U.S. And other nations. Thank you so much, Vincent Chao, for joining us.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.